Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very happy to have you here, guys. Today I want to share my thoughts on the latest addition to the Junoon series from Haramain. The fragrance is called Junoon Oud. I want to let you know how this fragrance smells like, who I think would enjoy the fragrance, if it reminds me of other fragrances. So yes, basically I want to share my overall thoughts and experience with the fragrance. Of course, if you have tried this fragrance or any other fragrances from the Junoon series, please share your thoughts on the fragrances down below, you guys. Not only that I would love to know it, but I'm sure everyone who's interested in purchasing this fragrance or perhaps other fragrances from the Junoon line could really use your feedback as well. I feel like from the Junoon series, I think there are 4 fragrances. If I remember correctly, I've only tried 2. I've tried this one and Junoon Rose. I will leave the link to the video where I'm trying out Junoon Rose in case you're interested in hearing my thoughts on that fragrance. So yes, without further ado, let's begin. Now you guys, in all honesty, when I first saw the fragrance they released and I looked at the notes, I have to say I kind of misjudged the fragrance, honestly. I thought it would be, especially considering the name Junoon Oud and considering the notes that I will add here on the screen as a reference, I thought this would be your typical masculine, manly man kind of fragrance. And even though I do enjoy these kind of fragrances on men, they are not really the kind of fragrances that catch my interest or my attention at all. But someone who's watching my videos sent me various decants and she included a decant of this fragrance as well. And when I smelled it, I have to say I was not expecting this fragrance to smell the way it does. It took me by such surprise. Now, for the sake of the video, I will actually, let's see, I will apply the fragrance on my skin. Yeah, it's very different to how I perceived it and how I thought it would smell based on the notes. First things first, no oud, guys. Don't be scared of the name. This has no oud in it at all, at all, at all, at all. So the fragrance, it opens up in such an interesting way. It opens up with an explosion of citruses. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of citruses myself, but even citrusy accords, they come in various formats, let's say. You have your crisp, icy, cold, arctic kind of citrusy forward accords. They feel very refreshing, perhaps a little bit astringent, perhaps a little bit acidic. But to me, the citrus accord here, it's a very different take on citrus. To me, it smells, imagine the smell like you're in your kitchen and you're peeling lots of bergamot, you're peeling lots of grapefruits, and you're peeling few pomelos. And you know that after smell that lingers in the air after you've peeled some citruses. This is legit how this fragrance opens with. It's this exact style of citrus. It feels very airy, it feels very bright, a little bit sparkling, a little bit sweet and sour from the bergamot, a little bit bitter from the grapefruit peel, and with the smell of pomelo, like airy, slightly bitter, but a very subtle citrusy hint. If you've ever smelled pomelo in real life, this is legit how this fragrance smells like to me. So yes, it doesn't lean cold, arctic, citrus on ice type of accord. Neither does it lean very aromatic, like a very lemony, zingy, acidic, green type of citrus accord. To me, the citrus accord here surprisingly feels very modern, you guys. This is a very modern take, to my nose at least, on a citrusy forward fragrance. And legit, if you've ever peeled lots of bergamots, lots of grapefruits and lots of pomelos, you know that after smell that lingers in the air. This is how the fragrance opens up, with that exact citrus accord, because like I've mentioned, it feels light, it feels bright. I also detect a slight powdery musky facet, but again, it feels more airy than anything. It feels bright, it feels light, it feels androgynous to me. This is definitely not the kind of fragrance that screams manly man kind of fragrances, but it's neither the kind of fragrance that screams extremely feminine fragrance to me. This, if you have a taste for the notes, this is the kind of fragrance that women could easily pull it off, men could easily pull it off. I feel like it's a matter of taste in general, you know. Yeah, and see, as I'm smelling it now, right behind that very airy and bright and slightly bitter citrus peel type of smell, I do detect a slight dry woodsy hint. And I feel like slowly but surely, as the fragrance gets a chance to develop a little bit on your skin, the fragrance does change. It is not a linear fragrance, even though the changes, they are subtle, you guys. They are very like delicate and subtle changes. However, they are still present. So what I have noticed when I was trying out this fragrance is that as it develops, a little bit of a sparkling kick and a little bit of this bitter, airy, bright, almost a little bit ozonic of a citrus accord is still present. It's just now a slight dry woody facet starts to appear in the background. It's the kind of dry woody accord that doesn't add a lot of richness to the fragrance. It's not that typical masculine leaning rich woody accord paired with something like a dark aromatic freshy style of accord. Let's just say it's not that accord at all. To me it's quite the opposite. It's a very dry, airy woody accord that feels again very minimalistic, and to me what it does here, it adds a little bit of depth, a little bit of complexity to the fragrance, and in a sense it grounds the fragrance a little bit, but it doesn't make it go like your typical earthy fragrance by any means. Yeah, this is legit how this fragrance smells like to me. It smells chic, it smells modern, it smells androgynous, it smells minimalistic in a sense, because it doesn't have a lot of things going on, and even what it has going on, it's done in a very subtle minimalistic way, yet they're present. You will smell this fragrance definitely. Like, it's not the kind of fragrance that disappears after like 10 minutes of wearing it, you know. It's a fragrance that stays present, but overall it's wrapped into this very definitely they went for a very modernized touch on a citrusy woody forward fragrance. When I smell this fragrance, to me this is a beautiful casual day-to-day kind of fragrance. Is the kind of fragrance that, let's just say if you're in a hurry, you don't have to think a lot about what you're reaching for. You could just like reach for this fragrance and do I don't know how many sprays and people will enjoy it. It's a very easy to enjoy, easy to tolerate, easy to dress up, dress down, this kind of fragrance. Like, you could wear it even with more sporty outfits, you could wear it even with more elegant outfits. Definitely as a standalone fragrance, it's a very versatile one to have in your collection. But bear in mind, if you have a taste for this kind of fragrances, but you guys, legit, if you know how pomelo smells like, and if you love the smell of grapefruit peel, and if you love the smell of bergamot peel, this is how this fragrance smells like, with a slight ozonic, slightly musky, powdery facet. And when I mean powdery, I mean a little bit of something powdery there. Don't think powdery makeup style or baby powder style. Definitely not the case. Just like a hint of something powdery there in the background. It just adds a little bit of complexity to the fragrance. I can't say that this fragrance gives me like I just got out of the shower, extremely manly man, masculine kind of vibe either. This is why to me I feel like it's a perfect unisex fragrance. Now, like I've mentioned, I wouldn't wear this fragrance myself because it's not the kind of fragrance that I would naturally gravitate towards in my day-to-day life. I prefer sweeter fragrances. I prefer my rose and oud. I prefer my sweet ouds. I prefer my sweet and spicy fragrances. I prefer my vanilla fragrances. I prefer fragrances that, let's just say, go into a slightly bit of a different direction. But if you love simple, bright, airy, citrus peel type of scents with a little bit of a woody base in the background, I see no issues why you couldn't enjoy this fragrance. Now, seasons, to me, warm weather and warm weather only. I think this shines the best in warm weather for sure. Personally, I wouldn't picture this fragrance in cold weather. It's almost like the cold weather and that cold sensation that you have in this fragrance, especially in the opening, could crash a little bit. But this one in summer, it's the kind of fragrance that, like, when it's extremely hot outside, this makes you feel a little bit refreshed and clean without actually smelling refreshing, because like I've said, it's not that acidic, refreshing, astringent, citrusy accord at all. Those, I don't enjoy them, honestly. Those are definitely not my citrus accords. This one I could pull it off. It's just, again, like, not my style of fragrance. Like I've mentioned, similar vibes it gives me with Vetiver Delight from Paris Corner and with Atiabel Marchoud for White. If you have a taste for fragrances in this scent family, let's just say, these three could all be cousins. Besides this, I don't know any other fragrance to tell you. I'm not really sure if this is an inspiration of a fragrance or if it's a unique creation from the house. If you know this information, put it in the comment section. But to my nose, at least, it's a unique creation. At least I haven't smelled anything that smells exactly like this fragrance. And when I mentioned the other two fragrances, that this one, let's just say, shares some similarities with them, they could be cousins, you know, but they're not like sisters. Okay, so this is everything I wanted to say. If you have tried the Junoon Oud from Haramain, I would love to hear your thoughts on the fragrance. Look, quickly touching on performance, on me at least, the performance is not out of this world. Anywhere from 5 hours, 5.5 to 6 hours longevity wise on my skin. On clothes, I haven't tried it, because I told you it's not really a kind of scent profile that I would wear on a day-to-day basis. But I do feel like as a standalone fragrance is the kind of fragrance that you should, or like if you have a taste for heavier fragrances, you could reapply it every 5 to 6 hours. Yeah, those were my thoughts about this fragrance. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram. Here is my handle. In case you want to tell me anything, as always, please put it in the comment section and I promise that I will get back to you. I will see you in my next video, but until then, thank you so much for watching and I want to wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye guys.